Hello everyone, welcome to Java tutorials. My name is Kishore. In this video, we will discuss about loops. In Java, there are three types of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Firstly, we will discuss about for loop. For that reason, I have created a class with the name called test for loop, and also I have selected the main method. Why we use loops means whenever you have some tasks that needs to be repeatedly execute, then you can use loops. As long as the condition is true, you can execute that particular task using the loop. So what is the for loop going to do is, for loop is going to execute some tasks repeatedly until the condition is true. But the for loop is mainly used whenever you know how many times you want to execute the task. Say, for example, you have some code that needs to be executed 5 times. Then you can write a for loop with a condition that it has to execute 5 times. What is the syntax of for loop is you need to use for keyword followed by the initialization statement, then the condition, then the expression. And inside the for loop, you can have the statements that needs to be executed as long as the condition is true. This initialization statement is executed only once in the beginning of the for loop. This condition is checked whether the for loop should be executed or not. Once the loop executes, the expression is going to be executed so that the condition should be evaluated to again execute the for loop, or it should terminate the for loop. Let me write a for loop with an initialization statement like int I is equals to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. The reason you use for loop is you want some logics to be executed for a specific number of times. Like I want some logics to be executed 10 times. Assume there is a counter. I want that counter to start from 1 till 10. Then you can initialize the for loop telling the counter should start from 1 and it should be less than equal to 10. And each time the for loop executes, it has to increment that counter value by 1 and it has to run the for loop. Once the value of I becomes 10, that is going to be the last iteration, because next time the value of I, which is going to become 11, will actually evaluate this condition and it is going to become false. Once the value of I becomes false, the for loop terminates. Let me print the value of I by printing counter equals I. Now what happens is this counter equals I is going to print the value of I. Let me run this program. You can observe the counter is starting from 1 and ends at counter equals to 10, because initially the value of I is 1 and this condition is going to be true because I value, which is 1 less than equal to 10, becomes true, as 1 is less than equal to 10 true. But I plus plus won't be executed on the first iteration. Once the for loop executes completely, then this expression will be evaluated. On the first iteration, the value of I, that is 1, will be printed. Once it prints 1, what happens is that I plus plus is going to be executed so that the value of I becomes 2. Then the condition is going to be evaluated. Is 2 less than equal to 10? Yes, 2 less than equal to 10. Again, this statement will be executed. So it will print the counter value 2. Then again I plus plus is executed. Then I is going to become 3. After that, this condition will be evaluated. Because 3 is less than equal to 10, the for loop is going to be executed. But how long it executes is once the counter value becomes 10, that is going to be the last iteration, because 10 less than equal to 10 is also going to be true. Once it prints that value 10, and I increments to 11, then 11 less than equal to 10 will become false. So the for loop terminates at this point. So this is how you can use for loop. One more example where you can use for loop is whenever you want to perform an iteration of an array. Suppose you have a number array like integer number array equals some value like 2, 3, 1, 5, 6. This is a number array and it is an array, so I need to use the square bracket. Suppose I want to print the elements present in the array. I don't need to print by using number array of 0, then number array of 1, number array of 2. Instead of repeating number array of 0, then number array of 1, number array of 2 till all the elements are printed, what you can do is you can just use this 0 as an index variable, and this I you can increment by 1 each time, but you can apply a condition telling that this I value should increase by 1 up to the last element. Once the last element is iterated, the condition should become false and the for loop should be terminated. How do I write that condition is, you can write that condition like this where int I is equals to 0. The reason I am starting from 0 is the array index starts from 0. That is why I am initializing the I value with 0. And then I write the condition called I less than number array dot length, and I write I plus plus. Here, the condition I less than number dot length is going to be I less than, what is the length of the array? Length of the array is 5 because there are 5 elements. So it means this condition will be true as long as the value of I is less than 5. So once it is less than 5, you should not access the index number 5. So it means it is going to access the index from 0 to 4. So let us print the elements present in the array. So elements equals, I write here number array with an index number I. In the first iteration, this is going to be 0, so that it is going to be number array of 0 and prints 2. Then I will be incremented by 1. So it is going to be condition 1 less than 5 is true, and it is going to print the value of number array 1, which is 3. Then again I is incremented by 1, so it will become 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes. So this is going to print number array at the index number 2, and I is again incremented. It will become 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes. So it is going to print number array and the index number is 3, which is going to be this 5. Then I is again incremented by 1. It will become 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. So it is going to print number array of 4, and the value which is at fourth index is 6, that will be printed. And once I is again incremented by 1, the condition is going to become false because 5 less than 5 is false, so it won't execute the for loop. So let me run this program so that you can see all the elements of the array like 2, 3, 1, 5, 6. This is how the for loop works. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.